One of my new favorites, the Sheerluck Comedy Book Test by Sean Farquhar. Love this, love it. My video is down below from the very first week I performed at what was meant to be a 2 to 3 minute segue, an introduction, a joke turned into a 9 to 10 minute routine. And I did not plan that. Now this is a great book test sort of thing. The premise is you stand back to back with an audience volunteer. I usually use a woman for this, just easier for me to manage, and just works out better for reactions for me. So you stand back to back so that you can't peek at their book. As soon as they start looking through their book to select a page, the audience sees you pull out a duplicate of the book and look through, and you're basically just reading off or peeking at it as I do. It builds over time. I make sure that the book is well hidden at first, slowly revealing it a little bit more, and as you'll see if you watch the video, eventually I have her right where I want her. I'm holding the book in my hand and pointing at her page number this, page number that. I'm adjusting her microphone. I'm holding the duplicate in my hand. Now the real magic part is at the end you reveal to your volunteer and then to the audience that your book is indeed blank. So this is a fantastic routine. Now I set this up, as I do with a lot of my audience participation routines, as a segue demonstrating the power of misdirection, and also to set my audience at ease, because when the book is revealed to be blank, the audience has been laughing at your volunteer the whole time, but then you reveal that, as I say, the joke wasn't on my volunteer, it was on the audience. They can't assume anything in the show. Now I've had the routine go really long and I felt a little bad for my volunteer up there, so at that point, when she finally does notice, I make it very obvious what's going on after a few minutes there. I don't want to push it too long. Once she notices it, and then I tell her, I just want to demonstrate the power of misdirection. I'm using lights, I'm using music, the audience is laughing, and you were misdirected. You didn't see this right in front of your face. Have you ever been looking for something, it ends up being right in front of your face? That sort of thing. And just demonstrating a skill of magic, a principle of magic misdirection. Now the pros are small. You can pack these 2 books really easily in pretty much anything. With the right audience, it's perfect. Perfect routine with the right audience. Now cons. Cons are, it's all about presentation. If you're not good at improvising, you're not good at audience management, this is going to be a tough one for you. It's not something you can just memorize like some of you do when you buy it and expect it to work right out of the package there, right out of the box, as they say. It's all about presentation. So I have no problem with that, because my character is such that I'm trying to do magic, and sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, sometimes they end up just being a joke. So if I get caught, not a big issue, which brings me to con number 2, is that lighting is important. Depending upon how your stage is set up, I play in front of a screen. I do this as a pre-show sort of thing. So I have a screen about 10 feet behind me, and if I have a bright spotlight on and my volunteer turns her head, she can see that I'm looking at a book. Now I have my own ways of getting around that, from a wash on stage instead of a bright spotlight, since it is pre-show, and management of my props on stage so that she can't see the shadow properly. But I have been caught a few times, and when that happens, I just play it off as a joke. Oh, you're one of the smart audience members. We need to do this. And so I move on to my second routine. It's a great segue routine. I like the finale, but sometimes the audience just doesn't seem to react like I want. You know, they still think it's really good, but it's just not the real loud vocal reaction that I'm hoping for. So I usually use this as a segue, demonstrating misdirection, demonstrating how my show's gonna work, where you don't know who's being fooled, that sort of thing. It's a great segue. And I would say a con here is you have to have the right audience. I've had to modify a little bit. Now I've done this well over 200 times already at our show here in Branson, and our audience members change over time. The ages, kids go back to school, or now into retirement groups and communities that come and visit us, churches, and they're very literal, some of them. And so I get them that come out after the show and say, we could see you were reading from a book the whole time. They miss the finale, like they just it doesn't register with them, much in the same way that I used to do paper balls over the head. And what would happen is people would come out to me this time of year and say, we could see you throwing that paper over her head. You need to practice more. No, I don't. You're just taking everything too literal. So relax, enjoy the show. But with the right audience, fantastic. You get the right woman up there on stage and you can go and go and go, and it becomes the funniest routine. Watch my link below. That really was the first week I performed this routine. Highly recommended. Sheerluck Comedy Book Test. Get it from your favorite vendor. Sean knows what he's doing. He's worked this thing and he is the professional. So be sure to check it out. I'm Christopher James. Thanks for watching Magic Spotlight. Stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe to listen to other reviews and other tips and tricks. Thank you.